started the interview with Ratan Tata and asked him about what hinders innovation in India. He said, and this has been repeated in interview after interview, to me it boils down to culture. He said, all right, his personal example was that he finished an architecture degree from Cornell, and he worked for a couple of years in the US. He worked in a firm that actually made some structures for the first space rockets, Saturn or Mercury, I forget which. And he says everything was so new, so all the young people were offered a great amount of freedom to try out new things. So he said, as a young engineer, if I wanted to try out something new, I'd go to my supervisor and he would say, all right, go do it. And he said, after that, I came back to India and I interned with the Tata companies. And he said, so I came back to a culture where it was great to work with people and on the shop floor and all of that. But the one thing that remained with him from that experience was that if he, as a young manager, took an idea to his seniors, they would say, grow some white hair on your head and then we'll talk to you. He said that, I think, is a hindrance to innovation, and throughout his time in Tata and later as a VC and an angel investor, he's always tried to encourage that young man who could have been him all those years back, coming with an idea but getting rebuffed. And Nestle was an interesting story in the sense that it's been in the news recently for the Maggi crisis. But Nestle has been in India for 100 years. Mm-hmm. And they have a little ditty inside the company saying that in a rice and wheat eating country, we sell noodles. In a tea drinking company, we sell coffee and all of that. The thing that Nestle wanted to emphasize was that innovation takes time. For instance, he said the product Maggi noodles was actually conceptualized in India. Okay. It is an Indian product, and for 10 years it made losses. Okay. So he says, if you were any other company, then you probably would have shut shop after 3 or 4 years saying, okay, this doesn't work. Right. But as a company, they have it in their DNA that if you think this product is right for the market, if you think there's going to be traction at some point, then we're going to continue to invest people and resources into it because we think there is a potential for this. Business leaders are fascinating storytellers. They are great at communicating the story. I'm sure it gains by practice because they do this to the investors, the employees, to the media, to the analysts. But to a person, I found they're great storytellers, they're great communicators. The other thing is they have insane levels of energy, and I mean raw physical energy. I mean, these guys travel a lot across cultures, across geographies. I think it takes a toll on their bodies, so all of them are pretty fanatical about being fit. Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be diet, it could be exercise or whatever. So insane levels of energy. Ratan Tata says in a story, he says certain countries have an intrinsic DNA that propels them to excellence. So Germany has it, okay. Japan has it, mm-hmm. and it's intrinsic to them. It seems to be, they want to produce a great car, but China didn't have it, and he says they created it. Okay. So if you look at Chinese manufacturing now, and they say manufacturing capital of the world and all that, that's because the Chinese have sort of created an environment where excellence in manufacturing is now accepted by the world. He says we still have to go a while before we reach there,